I'm so glad you're here. Betrayal. Bad decisions. Dragons. Pearl. And a lot of other words I probably can't say on YouTube. All things that can be used to describe House of the Dragon. And season 2 comes out this weekend, so I'm gonna make something. I don't exactly know what it is about the shows that draw me in so much. I do love fantasy, so that's probably a big part of it. And though as I get older, I find it increasingly more difficult to watch shows or movies where characters are consistently making bad decisions, especially in an HBO show where I know they are not afraid to just any characters. Having said all of that, I enjoyed Game of Thrones, I enjoyed House of the Dragon season 1, so I am very excited to watch season 2. I've never read the books, and I don't plan to. Typically, if I know something is based off of a book, I like to read the book first before watching whatever adaptation is being made. Like, I haven't seen A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes yet because I haven't read the book yet. I used to be a very avid reader as a kid, and I'm not as much anymore, which is a shame, and I'm trying to get back into reading, but there's a fly in here, and I don't want him to get into my coffee, because it's happened once, and I don't want it to happen again. However, with Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, I didn't want to read the books first, so I didn't, and I'm probably never going to. Get out of here! So I can't say I'm a diehard fan because I haven't read the books, but I am a fan of the TV series, so I thought this week it'd be fun to make a dress inspired by House of the Dragon. It's Tuesday, and it comes out this weekend, and I'd like this video to be out this weekend, but as usual, I'm cutting it very, 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 very close. So we're just gonna dive headfirst into this mess. All of the marketing for season 2 so far has been everyone must choose a side, and even though I can't really choose a side because they're all pretty bad people who make very bad decisions, I love the costuming, and I thought I could make my decision purely based off of that. Because of all of the fun textural design choices that are in Rhaenyra's dresses, I'm going to make a dress inspired by Rhaenyra. We're gonna go for a Rhaenyra Targaryen inspired dress. We're gonna be using a lot of red, mainly just because I don't have a lot of black fabric. Most of the black fabric I have is for Halloween, because it either has spider webs or skeletons on it, so that's not gonna work for this. But I actually did just thrift a lot of red items, so I'm excited to go back through. I washed them and I've forgotten them in the laundry room, so I've kind of forgotten what I grabbed. After I have an idea of what kind of fabrics I have to use, then I'll sit down and design the dress based on some of Rhaenyra's dresses from the series. After I went through all the pieces I thrifted, I ended up choosing a table runner, a bed sheet, and some thrifted fabric to use for this. Then I went through and found some images for inspiration and started sketching my design. A lot of Rhaenyra's dresses have a V-neck, so that's what I chose for the neckline, and a lot of her clothes also have some sort of callback to dragons, so I thought I would try to do this layered bodice that kind of, to me, looks like the plates of scales on the back of a dragon's neck. Okay, I think I've settled on a design. It took me 3 or 4 different sketches to figure it out, but I think I've finally landed on one that I like. So I think to kick off this project, we're gonna start with the burgundy underdress, because that's gonna be our base. Now that I know I'm doing a deep V-neck, this Elsa dress pattern that I drafted last year, which made this dress and also this dress, I think this will be the perfect bodice. As for the skirt, I've never used this pattern before. I've actually found it in a box from, I think, 2019, and it's never seen the light of day. So yeah, we're gonna try this one out. We're gonna do the longer one and just see if we have enough of that sheet, because it is only a twin. So I'm not quite sure if we're gonna have enough of that fabric, but we're gonna see. Okay, so I got most of the dress put together. All I have to do is put the back of the bodice onto the front and attach the skirt. I know that sounds like a lot, but what's left shouldn't take very long, so I'm gonna finish that up tomorrow, and then we'll get working on the dragon plate bodice and the sleeves. This is what she looks like right now. It's a little too long, and this deep V might be a little bit too deep, but we'll see once I try it on. We'll just have to wait and see tomorrow, because it is quite late, so I am going to call it a night, and I'll see you then. Hello, it's the next day. Today we're gonna finish the dress, hopefully. We'll definitely be finishing the underdress, and we will get started on the dragon plate bodice. I don't know if we'll finish it though, but we'll try. We'll do our best. So yeah, time to get to work. This is when I realized I accidentally sewed the back of the dress to the front of the dress. So, what the? Whoa. The dragon plate bodice is nearly there. It took me a lot longer to assemble than I thought it would take because I did end up making a mock-up because I was just too afraid to cut into this table runner, just trusting my pattern that I made at the last minute. But based on how the mock-up went, it wasn't perfect because of the fabric I was using. It's deceptively stretchy, so it got a bit stretched out under the sewing machine, but it did overall work. So I knew with the much stiffer fabric from the table runner, it would definitely work, and it is so far. However, because of the layering, it took a while to finish the edges first, pin it into place, and then sew it all together, so it took a while. Basic construction of it is done, which is exciting. It just needs this lace finishing around the edges. So I'll probably still finish that tonight. I won't record it because it's just a lot of clipping into place. But another change to my design that I made was I decided I didn't want a zipper. And not just because I hate putting in zippers, I thought it would look better if it was clean on the front and the back. And for the sides, to be able to put it on and get it off again, I'm going to add some grommets on the sides of the bodice and string a silk cord through them to cinch it together. I'm just now realizing though that that affects how I sew on the sleeves. That complicates things just a little bit, but I'm not worried about it. We'll make it work. I still have to sew lace over the raw edges, install the grommets, attach the sleeves, make the sleeves, potentially add a collar. I'm actually not 100% sold on there being a collar on this. She does have some pretty interesting collar moments, but based on everything else that's already going on with this dress, I don't know if it'll need it. So I got a lot done today, but also it's not done. It's very close, but it's not there yet, so we'll have to finish this up tomorrow because it is yet again quite late, so I'm gonna have to call it a night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hello! It's the next day. My tripod and my lights are set up in the photo corner for a transition, so we're starting off in the corners. I don't want to ruin the consistency of the transition I have going and still have to film the second half of. So what do we have to do today? Today I have to put the grommets in the sides of the bodice, cut, sew, and attach the sleeves. Last night I did finish putting the lace on the raw edges of the bodice. However, I did notice that the sides are not the same length, width, height. They're not the same. So I think I'm gonna have to take off the trim that I put on last night, cut an inch off, and then retrim it before I put the grommets in because I'd rather it match than have it weirdly be off. I'm also not sure how I'm going to make the sleeves. I've never made a cold shoulder type sleeve before. I'm thinking if I just take my flounce sleeve pattern, fold the top, and just use that. I have no idea. I'm hoping that that will work. So after the bodice is trimmed, the grommets are in and laced up, and after the sleeves are attached, I am going to add some chain details to the bodice. In the design, I have some on the upper part where the rest of that sleeve would be, which I still like, but I think I also might put some in the gap on the top. The dress is basically done. I do think it's missing something. I'm not quite sure what. I feel like it could have a bit more decoration on the front, but I really don't want to cover up the work I did on the bodice because that took so long and I don't want to cover it up. And I do think that a cool headpiece would pull it all together. So I think I'm going to try and do something with one of these halo headbands that I have on hand. It just feels like it's missing something. So I'm gonna try and figure out what that is and see what I can make to try and pull it all together. So I've been working on this for a little over an hour now, and I just tried to put it on my head, but I didn't leave enough slack on the headband itself, and it doesn't fit on my head. I also, hate how this part looks. It's just not working for me. It's too rectangular up here, and the way it sticks up on my head is just ridiculous. I might trim some of it off, reshape the head, but as it is, I cannot wear it as a headband. It just has to be pinned into place on the back of my head. I'm going to see if I can save it, and obviously if you see it in the reveal, then I was able to save it, and if you don't, yeah, I wasn't. So let's see which one it is in the reveal. And that's that. I honestly can't believe I got this done in a week. Overall, I would say it wasn't difficult to put together, but it did take time and it did require much of my attention. So there are a few other projects that had to be put on the back burner while I was working on this. I have a dice roll challenge going on right now, and I got a little too confident saying, yay, it's back on track, and then I wanted to do this, and then it wasn't on track anymore. But I have no regrets because I love how everything turned out. This dress I think is wearable. It's a little long. I might shorten it. I said that I was going to do that earlier, but I never did because I ended up wearing some heeled boots underneath it, so it made up for the height difference. But I think to make the underdress more wearable, it needs to be shorter, and this needs to be a little higher. Yeah, she's a little saucy right now, but I can fix it. And this thing turned out way better than I thought it would. I just trimmed off the weird corner thing that was going on, and it looked so much better. And I did some beading with the teeth and the eyeball. And yeah, I think it's a really cool piece. It is just pinned to the back of my head. I've also had these claw tooth embellishments for probably 6 years or so. I think they look like dragon's teeth. I thought they made cool earrings specifically for this, so I'm so glad I finally found a use for them. I was going to sit here and do the outro in the full getup, but I had to take the wig off. It was giving me the worst headache. I also realized while filming that you can clearly see my burn line from today because I very stupidly went garage sailing walking around outside today and didn't put any sunblock on and got very, very burned. It doesn't look as bad here as it does here. Oh, oh no! And there's a little baby one on the other side. And it just feels super good. Especially with the dress and the bodice, which rests right on it at all times. So I'm gonna wrap this up so I can go take this off. But I really did have a lot of fun putting this together. Seeing what I sketched out actually work fully and become a real thing, just like I planned it to, is very satisfying. And if you liked watching it come together, you can let me know by hitting the like button. And if you want to see what I'm making next, you can hit the subscribe button and join the channel. And if you want to know when I post, hit the notification bell and YouTube will let you know. Now I'm gonna go watch House of the Dragon Season 2, and don't forget to put sunblock on when you go outside. Or to fit the theme of the video, when dragons are breathing fire, don't stand too close. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!